sports world. Yeah, most of us start off in church as kids. We gotta go. That's not an option, of course, not to go. But after a while, usually that gap that is within the church, most of them are, majority as far as men, are outside of the church, mainly involved in the sports world. My problem is, if we look at most of these churches, do we have anything that's related to where the hearts of most young men are? Or just men, period, it's in sports. Do we have anything that's related to that, that's attached to our ministry? You know, is there another outlet that is connected to your place of worship? You know, if we have that would be one of the main keys that can keep the young men around, and then also keep them engaged to prevent them from going out to look for other groups of men that may not be the correct or the best kind of group to be involved with.
It was a few months ago, we had a sleepover at our youth, and one of our leaders, he's like 26 years old now, and he was raised in our church and stuff like that. And I was like, why are you still doing this? And he said, the word of the Lord has gripped me. And the question is, why do we think some of the guys are leaving and not coming back? I think there has not been like a spiritual foundation laid in the homes. You know, I think that's one of them. And then, like when you think about men, they don't see what that looks like to be. They see women in church. They don't see black men in church. You know, church is for women, like you said. You know, and I think that's one of the reasons why they leave. And you brought up an interesting point about the sports. Right. You know, but I think one of the things is like the lack of spiritual discipline and them having a relationship with the Lord on their own. Because a lot of us are I say us because I include myself in that, is we still hang on to our parents' faith and they're not establishing their own faith. They're not centered in the word and in prayer, and they haven't been taught that way.
Yeah. So, brothers, go ahead, Mike.
No, I just want to say what you were saying earlier about sports. I guess I got to piggyback on your dad as well. Because he was also I look at him as a mentor in the church for me. And I'm 47, but when I played ball, I would be in the paper, Long Beach Poly, doing my thing there, and I had an opportunity to go to the next level, and I gave my life to the Lord at 19, and so I was struggling with the call that was on my life to preach, and there was a movement, I guess, within the church that you couldn't do both to its fullness and really serve the Lord. I mean, you can do it, but you're really not going to, and that's the way I took it. So perception is the reality. So I was like, I really want to be a Christian. I really want to serve God with all my heart. And if I can't do this, am I loving this sport more than I'm loving God? And El Wright came to me one day, and he put it in another perspective. And he told me, he said, I'm not one to believe that you cannot play ball and also serve the Lord. He said, I believe you can do both. He said, matter of fact, I believe God needs more of his people in that area. He said, and because my sons, he said, my sons are aspiring to play sports, and I would love to take them to a game, and they see Brother Mike Henry playing ball, living a Christian life. You can do that too. Right. So he was trying to bridge the gap using me to reach out to his son. So he's been faithful to that for a while. So I've forever been that way now. My children now are 3 and 2. All of them are play some type of sports. One with the Indianapolis Colts got let go. But now they all love the Lord. They love the Lord, and it's a balance. So I definitely agree with that. To definitely be in the arena where we are, and we got to get stuff to relate to more of these young men. And it's different to having my last point, it's different to having a religious foundation and a spiritual foundation.
Amen. What you saying?
It's a big difference than going to church because you got to. Then going to church and you see your parents in love with Jesus
I mean, it's a different thing, because when he made the statement, my brother here, having a spiritual foundation, I felt drawback that everybody was brought up in the church. That don't mean you have a spiritual foundation. That means you've been going to a building that's been boring me to death and is boring you. But you gotta go because mama didn't say go. And mama dragged herself to church. Pops may go if he wants to, but anyway, I go on and on. But I like that. We need a spiritual foundation where our children know that daddy my son know that daddy have a relationship with Jesus outside of the church. And I laugh with them, I'm silly with them, but they know that Pops is in on his knees crying, he's worshiping in the bathroom. He don't need to have a stage to worship God because he has a spiritual foundation. So we need to be out there where they are.